I will go to war with him anytime. That's what Kirby Smart had to say about Georgia quarterback Carson Beck after Georgia's big 31-13 win over the Auburn Tigers. And listen, if you're a Carson Beck hater, it was a bad day for you on Saturday as Carson led Georgia's offense to victory. They scored a touchdown, I believe, in every quarter. It wasn't super exciting. It wasn't super explosive, but Carson Beck proved that he is still one of the best quarterbacks in college football. I'm going to talk all about Kirby Smart's comments about him. If he has put himself maybe back in the Heisman conversation, we're going to talk about it all because he did play very well against Auburn. And I know he turned the ball over 4 times against Alabama. And it didn't look great at times, right? And he deserves criticism for how he played in that game. But I saw a lot of people this past week coming out with all these little statements. Carson Beck stinks. He can't get the job done. He can't lead Georgia to a national championship. And while he hasn't done that yet, obviously, this is just his second year as a starter. I think a year and a half into the Carson Beck era, at least in my opinion, I think he does have the tools. I do think he has the arm to get the job done. The only team he hasn't beaten is Alabama, right? He has taken care of business against pretty much everyone else. He's made NFL caliber throws. He does have poise in the pocket. He does have, he is a veteran and does have some experience that you can't ignore. He's won big games on the road. He's, won tight, close games. He's won games with his arm. He's been able to lead Georgia's offense to 50-plus points. The kid is really good. So far this year, it hasn't been fantastic, and he's not having the season he had last year, but he's thrown for 1,359 yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The completion percentage has gone down a little bit. He was at 72.5% last year. He's just under 66% right now. So, what do you contribute that to? Is the offensive line play, has that decreased a little bit? Is it because they're struggling to run the ball more, without Kendall Milton and Dejan Edwards, two tough and crafty running backs that they could rely on all year long? Right now, they just kind of have one that they can rely on, and Trevor Etienne. And the running game just isn't there. Of course, that makes things a little difficult for Carson Beck. So is that it? Is it, no Brock Bowers? I'm sure that's a big reason why, right? There's no completely safe outlet, a go-to, things are here. Where can I go to find my Brock Bowers, my George Pickens, my A.J. Green, right? That type of player. I'm not sure he's on the roster right now, but Carson Beck showed, I think it was a really big deal for him to bounce back the way he did against Auburn after that performance against Alabama. And listen, he damn near led them back to what could have been the greatest comeback in college football history. In fact, he did lead them back, and they had the lead. They came up short, and Carson Beck came up short, and he's the one who threw the interception to lose the game. It wasn't great. He's got to play better, and he did play better against Auburn. And, he tried to push the ball downfield. They just didn't connect on the longer ones. He did have some throws that, went 20-plus yards. So there was a tad bit of explosiveness, I guess, against Auburn. But, the game plan was to come out and play safe, efficient football. Make the right reads, take care of the ball, don't turn it over, don't throw it into dangerous situations, and move the football, keep the chains moving. Occasionally try to hit some deeper passes, but again, it just wasn't there. But he was very good at 23. I thought I had the numbers here in front of me. 23 of 29, something like that, 240 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's winning football, and Kirby Smart will go to war with that type of quarterback playing winning football. I want to talk about the rest of Kirby Smart's comments about Carson Beck in just a second. And then we're going to talk about who are the best quarterbacks in college football. Where does Beck stand with them? But first, I have to bring it up. collegebronze.com. That's where you can get the #1 Georgia Bulldog statue on the market today, right? Promo code DOGPOST, DAWGPOST. That's where you can buy it. That's the only place you can get a discount on this bad boy right here. Put them on your front porch. Put them on your back porch. Put them in your office. It's fall. People are outside. You want them right on your front porch for Halloween. When the neighbors come by, they're going to see the pup right there. They know you're a doghouse. They know you pull for the dogs. So make sure you get that today. Again, promo code DOGPOST. Here's what Kirby Smart had to say more about Carson Beck. He said, I think he did play really well against Alabama at times. He got a lot of confidence in that game. He did a lot of good things today, too. Nobody really understands what Carson does in our offense, and you can't appreciate it unless you know it. So I understand the scrutiny that he's under, just like me. He's a quarterback. I'm the head coach. We're going to be under immense scrutiny. But Carson Beck is a tough winner, competitor, and a leader, and I'll go to war with the guy anytime. So, it's not easy to win over Kirby Smart, and I think it took some time, but I think it's clear Kirby Smart is all in on Carson Beck, and even though, he's not had he's, I guess it's fresh, right? It's not super fresh, but he's coming off one of his worst games against Alabama, mainly because of the 4 turnovers. He showed some big-time throws in that game, too, and showed that he can push the ball downfield and lead a come-from-behind effort. He proved a lot in that Alabama game, but it was still not good for a decent amount of the game, and he's got to clean that up. And I thought he played really clean, efficient football against Auburn. You go back and watch it. The ball placement was not there all the time, but he completed the passes, and he made the right reads, and he threw it to the right guy, and he led the offense and showed that he is still capable of playing at a very high level week in and week out. So, Carson Beck's numbers are not eye-popping. It probably won't get him into the Heisman conversation. He's going to have a lot of work to do. Cam Ward of Miami is the leading passer in the country right now. 2,219 yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Jackson Dart right underneath him, 2,100 yards, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Are those guys really better quarterbacks than Carson Beck? I'm not sure we can say that. You could maybe make the case for Cam Ward as far as just an overall talent level, but I'm not buying that Jackson Dart's a better quarterback than Carson Beck. Kyle McCord is right there at number 4. He's having a decent year for Syracuse. He's thrown 6 interceptions, though. That's not great. Carson Beck's better than him. Garrett Nussmeier coming in at number 7 for LSU, 1,652 yards. Shadur Sanders, 1,630 yards, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. It's just not a great year overall for quarterbacks. And Quinn Ewers is good. That is a good quarterback who's been injured a little bit. I think Arch Manning is really good too, by the way. But you look up and down. I got a text from someone the other day, hey, do you think that Carson Beck's NFL draft chances have taken a big hit? And I'm like, no. He played in a tough road environment at Alabama, made some mistakes. But again, the kid's a winner, and he's got arm talent, and he has shown that he can make big throws when they matter and lead teams to victory in a lot of different ways. But he played solid winning football against Auburn, and I think that goes a long way. And listen, if teams are picking J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix in the middle of the first round in a year where teams are always looking for a quarterback still, in a year where no one's really standing out as the best of the best, I do think there's going to be a team or two who say, you know what, Carson Beck is pretty good. And even if it's a really good team that feels comfortable with their quarterback and want to do what the Packers have done or what the Falcons are trying to do and get a quarterback maybe late in the first round to sit, not start immediately, which would be smart. That would be something that I think would really benefit a guy like Carson Beck, he's just 21. This is not some kid in his mid-20s who's been around forever. He is a veteran. He's been in the program for 4 years now. It's at 2020. I'm not going to do the math out loud like an idiot. I'm going to do it in my head. So, yeah, this is year 5 because he was there in 2020. But he is a good quarterback, and he's still one of the best quarterbacks in college football. And I just thought there were too many people who really jumped all over him last week after what was a not good performance against Alabama. It was good at times. It wasn't good overall. So the Carson Beck haters had to watch him play winning football, and then Kirby Smart comes out and says, you know what, I'll go to war with this kid any day. Georgia fans need to realize this kid can do it. You may not believe it. You may not want to believe it. You may just kind of hope deep down that Carson Beck and Mike Bobo don't get the job done, so you can say I was right about those two, but they both can do it. Mike Bobo's got to coach better, and Carson has to play better, but I do think he's good enough to lead Georgia to a national championship. This team can still win a national championship. They can still do it. They can beat Ohio State. They can beat Texas. They can beat Alabama. They can beat Oregon. They can beat just about anyone. They've got to do it. They've got to start playing better, though. Good thing is that there's still time, and they've got a get-right game against Mississippi State. So that whatever's not working, get it right, fix it before you go to Austin, and then take care of the rest of the season if you can. I think they can do it. There's a really good team. They've got a really good quarterback. The sky's not falling because they didn't cover the spread against Auburn, and that they lost to Alabama again. The sky's not falling. This is a good team. They can win a national championship, and Carson Beck is good enough to lead them, to victory and to do that. Thanks for watching this video. Get your dog, get your bulldog today. Again, promo code DOGPOST, DAWGPOST, collegebronze.com. All the information is in the description below in this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you over on the website.